Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel, Artificial and Fact. How are you guys? I hope you are good. So, today we will discuss about positive externalities. I hope you guys stay watching this video until it finishes. Before we go to the materials, you guys must know what is externalities. Externality is a side effect or consequence of an industrial or commercial activity that affect other parties without this being reflected in the cost of the goods or services involved, such as the pollination of surrounding crops by bees kept for honey. In the externality material itself, there are theories that become the basis for the implementation of the externality itself. Coase theorem. Here this is an opinion expressed by Ronald Coase. Theorem Coase explains if private parties can bargain on the allocation of resources without having to spend costs, they can solve their own externality problems. Besides, there is also inefficiency. The meaning of this inefficiency when externalities cannot allocate economy resources efficiently, resulting in market inefficiency. In externalities often experience various types of problems. Therefore, there are solutions for dealing with externalities. Externalities are divided into two types: negative externalities and positive externalities. If the impact on the bystander is adverse, it is called a negative externality. And if it is beneficial, it is called a positive externality. But at this time, we will only discuss about positive externality. So, like I've said before, positive externality is when the production and consumption of a good or service benefits a third party not directly involved in the market transaction. Here are some examples of positive externalities. The first is restore historic buildings, convey a positive externality, because people who walk or ride by them can enjoy the beauty and the sense of history that these buildings provide. Buildings owners do not get the full benefit of restoration and therefore tend to discard older buildings too quickly. The second is research into new technologies provides a positive externality because it creates knowledge that other people can use. Because inventors cannot capture the full benefit of their invention, they tend to devote too few resources to research. Vaccination benefits not only for the person being vaccinated, but also for others, as the risk of transmission decreases. So, positive externality divided into two types: positive externality in consumption and positive externality in production. The first, we go to positive externality in consumption. In this case, the social marginal benefit of consumption is greater than the private marginal benefit. For example, if you take a train, it reduces congestion for other travelers. In a free market, consumption will be at key one because demand is equals to supply and private benefit is equals to private cost. However, this is socially inefficient because at key one, social marginal cost smaller than social marginal benefit. Therefore, there is underconsumption of the positive externality. Social efficiency would occur at key 2, where social cost is equals social benefit. For example, in a free market without government intervention, there will be an underconsumption of education and public transport. Next is the example of positive externalities in consumption. The first is consuming a healthy diet ultimately will benefit others in society because less healthcare costs, higher productivity. The second is education or learning new skills. With better education, you are more productive and can gain more skills, but also the rest of society benefits from your new skill. And the third is buying flowers for front garden gives benefits to others who walk past. The next is positive externality in production. So this is the curve of positive externality in production. In this curve, I use tree as the example because trees can attract the pollution like carbon dioxide, which is made by the transportation and the industry and also produce oxygen to us to live. So this tree gives a positive externality. Let's see the curve. For example, the equilibrium price of one tree is $10. Every good that has a positive externality will be consumed and produce more, so that the supply curve will shift to the right, so that the price will also be cheaper because it must be consumed in large quantities and must have a positive impact. So the price from $10 drops to $5. Sometimes government will give a subsidy for goods that have positive externalities. For example, the subsidy from the government is $5, so the price from $10 drops to $5 and give a positive externality. Next is the example of positive externality in production. The first is a decision to stop smoking causes benefits to other people in society who longer suffer passive smoking. The second is switching from conventional farming to organic farming helps the environment as there are fewer chemicals in the environment. And the third is picking up litter makes the environment nicer for everyone. The government role, like I've said before, the government also can provide a positive externality. There are two ways that government can do. The first one is grants and subsidies, and the second is regulation. The first one, government grants and subsidy to producer of goods and services that generate external benefits, will reduce cost of production and encourage more supply. This is a common remedy to encourage the supply of merit goods such as healthcare, education, and social housing. Such merit goods can be funded out of central and local government taxation. Public goods such as roads, bridges, and airports also generate considerable positive externalities and can be built, maintained, and fully or part funded out of tax revenue. In addition to subsidy, another way for the government to increase externality is through regulation. For example, the government can regulate a ban on tree cutting or an obligation to plant trees in certain area. Regulation is considered to be the most common solution. You can find it in several regulations, such as environmental regulation and food and beverage health regulation. So this is the curve to show the effect of subsidy on good with positive externality. A subsidy of P0 and P2 shifts supply curve to the right, and the new quantity demand will be key to where SMB is equals to SMC. In this case, the subsidy has overcome the market failure. Through government intervention itself could be subject to government failure. So the next is problem example. The question is, if a farmer switches from conventional to organic farming, is this really a positive externality? The answer is conventional and organic farming both have negative externality. One has less than the other, but switching doesn't mean a positive externality. It just means a reduction or even mitigation of a negative externality. In the same way, driving an electric car is not a positive externality. In this case, the best example would be something like deciding to consume education, which give a clear positive externality. However, I feel there is a broader definition of positive externality, that a decision by an individual has a benefit to others. For example, a farmer may switch to organic for personal reasons to make more profit, but I think it is reasonable to say that his decision has positive externality to the rest of society. Due to their decision, there are a lower quantity of chemicals in the environment and less chemical in food. The benefit of the switch to organic is not just limited to the farmer himself. So really, it is the decision to switch which has a positive externality. The conclusion: an externality exists whenever the welfare of some economic agents is directly affected by the action of other agents, both consumer and producer in the economy. The term externality refers to an activity of producing or consuming an item that can generate benefit or costs that have not been included in the calculation of the production or consumption process of the item. A positive externality is a person action that benefits others. The government can play a role in increasing positive externality, namely by grants and subsidies and regulation. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you like this channel, please give some like, comment and subscribe. And don't forget to share this video. See you on the next video. Goodbye.